Hi, you've reached Caroline Gleick. I can't take your call right now, but please leave a message and I will return it as soon as I can. Thank you.
Hey, Caroline, big fan of your social media feed. I'm just curious, like, I know I don't have the same big mountain dreams that you do, and I kind of look up to you in a big way. Maybe you can highlight some ideas I haven't noticed before and teach me a little bit how to be a silver spoon spoiled bitch with like an awesome Instagram feed. Because that's really what I want also. Anyhow, your cross-eye is amazing also.
To harass me on social media, they've created like 20 different accounts over the past 4 years. It just gets under your skin, and then you think about it in weird ways sometimes. Having a checklist and a goal and having these like clear guidelines helps to overcome that self-doubt. I always thought ski mountaineering was the coolest thing in the world. And it's like, Andrew McLean is the man. He says in the book, you'd have to be crazy to want to ski all the lines. So I was like, I guess I'm that kind of crazy. My goal is to ski all the lines in the shooting gallery.
Yeah, when I first started skiing in the Wasatch Mountains, I just kind of took them for granted. It seemed like it was nice snow and easy access. You'd ski a great line and think, oh, that's the best line I've ever skied. And you'd look across the valley and go, oh, there's one, and there's one, there's one, there's another one. And that's how the book began. I think it's neat that it's starting to attract people who are interested in doing the whole set because you have to do a wide variety of skills. Backcountry skiing is the big picture where you're kind of outside of the resorts, whereas ski mountaineering involves kind of climbing up something, looking for steeper turns. You're not just kind of touring.
You can't really be a good ski mountaineer if you're not competent rock climber, really. You need to be really good with avalanche education, period, because otherwise you will not survive. I think ski mountaineering is when you take an expert skier and put them in a situation where if they screw up, or if they get unlucky, they die.
There are certain lines in this project that are so scary. So I have to tell myself, you got this. Take a deep breath. You can do it. It's gonna be okay.
The lightning bolt chute. The lightning bolt is one of the steeper lines and hopefully avoided altogether.
She comes up all the time when you're skiing with other people around here. And people that don't know Caroline have a very distinct opinion and impression of her.
You're a Gumby who doesn't belong in the mountains.
Maybe you can teach me a little bit how to be a silver spoon spoiled bitch.
She's on billboards when you drive around the city. She's in trail maps when you open them up at the ski resort. She's everywhere. Caroline is completely the poster girl of Utah skiing.
I remember seeing these pictures of these mountains, and there was something from a young age that I was like, I want to do that. But the closest thing to alpinism that I could do in Rochester, Minnesota was carry the tuba through the march in the marching band. All I wanted was to have this mountain existence that I would experience with my dad and my half-brother, Martin.
Wow, so rugged. You can see why they call them the Rockies. That's Martin. Hello, Martin.
Martin definitely included me in a way that no one else had really invited me before.
Okay, she's gone.
For him to take the time to be patient with us, for him to teach me how to climb, that had a huge effect on my life. Those are my happiest childhood memories.
The first thing we do on the trips is that we drive like crazy people. For example, we leave Minnesota and then drive all night to end up often at Utah. Okay, it's Alta on a powder day. There was a competition for animal status. Who's the animal? These boys had a somewhat advantage, and they would occasionally succeed. Okay, go. But the only one who really became the animal was Caroline. She'd throw herself down the hill with reckless abandon, so that after all said and done, the boys, they're good, but she's the animal.
When I first picked up the shooting gallery, I remember reading the page about Stairs Gulch. And it just had my stomach in knots, because that was where my half-brother was killed. There was a huge glide avalanche that came down and buried them. He was 37 when he died, and I was 15. For the first couple years, anytime I went in the backcountry, I would just have this vision of my half-brother's hands at his funeral. They were just crushed black and blue.
He was doing the thing he enjoyed doing. All was not lost. There was a good thing here, even though we're commemorating someone's dying. We miss Martin very hard. I'm sorry.
We came out to Utah after Martin's death. In some ways it got better when I moved here, but my parents really pushed me to focus on academics. But in my heart, all I really wanted to do was ski. When I was 18, I was on one of my first ski photo shoots with this really well-known photographer and pro athlete that I really looked up to. And I was like, I want to ski all the peaks in the Wasatch. And I remember they just both kind of looked over at me and laughed. But I thought in my head, I don't think it would be that hard. First, I needed to learn how to climb ice, then to lead trad, and then I needed to get my fitness to the point where I could climb and ski 6,000 to 7,000 vertical feet in a day. It's kind of fun, kind of scary. This is gonna suck. I will.
Rock! Rock, Mommy! Rock!
Actually, I probably would now that I know the way. That was so awesome! Even if they say I don't belong, I'm just gonna keep doing my thing. I don't need their acceptance or approval. Pretty much every line in the shooting gallery has some pretty messed up adventure skiing to get out. So today, we have this long road, and then it's gonna get real dicey on this frozen trail. You'll see. Real character building. I knew at some point I would have to go up there. And every time I would drive by on the way up to Big Cottonwood, I would just feel sick. I didn't want to see it, I just didn't want to deal with it. Time has a way of healing those wounds. I mean, it was 15 years that passed. I don't think I could have done it any sooner. And just being up there on that ridge, it allowed me to just see what he saw and experience that. It took this tragic, horrible thing and turned it into something really positive. Why? For me, it's about the shared experience with the partners. When I met Liz, I was instantly connected to her. Instead of the experience where the people would kind of laugh at me or mock me, she never questioned that I would be capable to do these things together. And she always wanted to plan these cool trips. And so the goal for me was to hone my skills so that I could be a competent partner for her. And then Liz was killed in an avalanche in Argentina. To feel that closeness and then have it ripped away from you, it was really tragic. That's part of the reason that like my half-brother Martin had such a huge effect on my life and how Liz had such a huge effect on my life. It's because I'm kind of stubborn and like closed off in real life. I put my walls up to the world. And it's only like through the backpacking or through the snow camping or through the mountaineering that I can begin to let down those walls. This project, it's a way of making good on the encouragement that they gave me. It's also about keeping them alive in my mind. Her death made me really afraid and wary of how and when I take risks in the mountains. I think it's really dangerous to have a goal sheet like this. You have to be really aware of how that influences decision making.
It looks scary. The snow looks pretty good though.
I would rather never finish the project than risk death. I just want to be so sure of my skills because I feel I have to do like extra to prove to myself and to other people that I'm capable. But you have to just let go of what other people think you're capable of and decide what you're capable of yourself. It's always really hard to get out of bed in the morning for sunrise. And since this is like my 4th sunrise of the week, I'm really tired. But then this kind of moment when the sun first hits your face makes it all worth it. And, you know, there's something to be said for doing those things in life that you really want to do. It's not like my dad or my coach or someone telling me, get out of bed in the morning. Ultimately, I do this stuff every morning because it's what I want to do from the bottom of my heart. So there's a real gratifying feeling in that. You don't really think about it when you think about good skiing. It's like a weird mixture of like skiing and alpine climbing.
That's fun after the fact. It's not actually fun while you're doing it. There's a lot of that in the shooting gallery.
It's not really about the skiing.
Cool.
It's just straight up the pucker factor. If you ski at Alta, you've looked at it 100 times. The first part that you see that looks the worst isn't the worst part. And the consequences of a fall, even with a rope, are terrifying.
It's all good here, unless you look down. And then it's really scary.
It's really easy to romanticize ski alpinism, but then when you're up there, it's like the doubts and the worries, they don't go away. They're your constant companions. And their little voice comes up in your head.
You're a Gumby that doesn't belong in the mountain.
You're going to die.
You shouldn't be here in the first place. You're going to end up like Liz.
I have to really focus on trying to talk nicely to myself and overcome my self-doubt and insecurities.
You got this, girl. You got
You
this.
shouldn't be here in the first place.
We can do this.
You're going to end up like Liz.
It's gonna be fine. Totally fun. This is fun. We're having fun. Life is great. Life is awesome.
There is a certain joy of like having the deep-seated fear and being able to look it in the face. It pulls this thing out of you that you never knew you had, but it's not a good state to live in all the time.
Hey Rob, this part's pretty cruiser now. Ready?
The part that is so addictive is like the intense experiences that you share with other people. Because it's not just any person who wants to do this kind of stuff. The people that are in this sport, they're some of the most magnetic personalities. And when you're working towards a shared goal in the mountains, it connects you like no other experience on this planet. And that's the part that I just want to do over and over. I would highly encourage people to set a really ambitious goal that they know they may not be able to achieve, where people will tell you that it's impossible. And then having the courage and the patience and perseverance to see it through.